Yeah. What it do? Yeah, it's your brother, man, from the motherland, coming to you guys live from the NY, back with another one of that ROD pod. For those that don't know who I am him, Junns, the voice for the kidnaps, or the AK representative. I want to give nothing but thanks and honor to our ancestors, thanks and honor to the creators, thanks and honor to the Alkebulan deities that hover over us, that's waiting for us to tap in to allow us to get our land back. Last but not least, want to give a shout out to all you guys for your continued support, leaving all the feedback, the positive, the negative, all things is respected and needed, because again, it allows me to do what I do best, and that is a yes, keeping my foot on you heathens, you Hebrews, you heathenites, you Israelites, you Bantu knights. Next round of applause for that. We're gonna dive straight into it today, guys. Man, you see the title. What happened in London? Something's going on in London, man. And what's going on is there was a All-African, gay African parade that took place in London. Now, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but for me, this just justifies and explains why we remain in the conditions that we are in as people. And one of the main reasons into why we not elevating, because like I said, we're going against the universal order. And when I seen this, and shout out to the individual that sent me this, but when I seen it, I was appalled. I said, nah, hold on. I gotta talk about this, because this is unacceptable. A behavior that was taught to us by the oppressor and the system. I don't want to hear none of this. We was doing that. I don't want to hear none of this. Sodom and Gomorrah took place in Africa. All of that is BS. All of it. None of it, these things did not occur. Okay? This ideology came with the oppressors. Facts. Again, no more assumptions, no more beliefs, no more insertions. We're standing on the facts. And the fact of the matter is, we're losing ourselves. But that's enough with the intro. I want to play the video so you guys can see exactly what's going on. Let's go. So just so you know, I'm not capping. I'm not talking pure nonsense. As you guys can see, this is a bunch of Africans, gay Africans, marching up and down London in real time. It's right here in front of you. Now, before I dive deeper into this, I want to ask you guys a question. Why is this happening? What is the cause of this behavior? I give you a minute. Not an actual minute, but I give you time to process this. What is the cause of this actual behavior? Well, for those that don't know, the cause of this behavior is the indoctrination, is the integration, is the religious aspect, because the Abrahamic religion is the only religion. Well, I mean, that is the only religion that we're following, right? The Abrahamic religion is the only religion that gives you the justification of, I'm sorry, guys, exhausted. Give you guys the justification of accepting such behavior without no penalty behind it. Yeah, they tell you you're gonna be judged at the end, and all wickedness, no feminine, no, no sodomite and all this. They tell you all of that, but in reality, there's not gonna be a judgment that's going to be done the way that the Biblos tell you. Because if this judgment was as severe and as real as they say, I promise you, people will not do this. God would intervene and let them know that this behavior is unacceptable and this is what's going to come when you pass. But we don't see these things. Now, this LGBTQ in the Western influence play a major role into the reconstructing of the minds of the Alkebulan people. See, when they was in Alkebulan, this behavior could not be practiced. And while I'm speaking of behaviors can't be practiced, this agenda is also being pushed in South Africa right now as we speak. Now, when you look at what the Western world is doing to the rest of the world, you see that its primary target is to destroy the black race, or at least put it in a complete state of submission. And when you see this behavior taking place, knowing that this is something that we do not support, do not stand with, all of this comes from the Western influence, Euro-Christian influence, biblical influence, Islamic influence. I don't want to hear nothing that anybody got to say, because all through the scriptures, it's stuff like this. And when I say stuff like this, it's homosexual perversions that goes on within the scriptures. Somebody's gonna say, how dare you say that? How can you prove that? Sure. Remember when God told Abram that one of the covenants is you gotta cut the fair skin? You remember that? Remember? How old was Abram when he was told to do that? I was a grown man, right? Not only was he a grown man, but the order was to also cut the foreskins of everybody that was in your so-called house. And for Abram, a man with many men, money, power, he had to cut the foreskins of every single man that was inside his house. Not to mention those that was willing to pay to get that done. Now, for me, my question is, and I know it's going to take us, it's going to be off topic, but my question is, why would God require a payment for a covenant that you said everybody needs to have? But that's another topic in itself. I'll leave it for you guys to answer that. So the LGBTQ and the Western influence play a pivotal role into the reconstructing of the minds of the Alkebulan people. See, when you go into these people's circumference and you go into these areas, especially Europe, Europe is known for botanism. We know that, okay? When you go into the circumference, you are being reindoctrinated. Once you enter their schools, once you enter their space of living, you will be indoctrinated. And with the indoctrination, you're going to get these high level of conversation. And then curiosity kicks in. I'm going to tell you how they get you from young. So if I teach you this from 9, 10, 11, 12, by the time you go into so-called puberty, you become curious. And when you become curious, they already got people all around that feast off that type of energy. You see, these so-called gay people are like predators. They can smell a potential or curious or want to know was this hitting for type of individual. They can smell it. And they put themselves around individuals. We're living in today now where they're putting themselves around everybody. You could be a gangster. They're going to try and see if you one of them gangsters that get bent over. If you one of them gangsters that lay on their stomach with their legs in the air. Yeah. I'm just telling you guys the truth. Okay? This is the times that we are living in. Now, for me, seeing this, it just lets me know that this exodus that you guys are proclaiming to happen, this wilderness that you guys are claiming to be preparing for, will never happen. Because we're 20, 30, 40, 50 steps back compared to where we was when we got out of slavery. And I don't want to say get out of slavery, cattle slavery. We are 50 steps back. Okay? And not only are we 50 steps back, we prefer to be in the back of the bus because you was told that's where the nigga's supposed to be. So we prefer to be in the back of the bus while every other nation is in the front getting the first dibs, procreating, bringing life, and they're not killing each other at the rate that we are. Okay? Just in Philly the other day, there was like 18 mass shootings, bro. I'm watching the video of people literally shooting off their porch, guys. I'm seeing little girls and children jumping, hiding under chairs on their stoop. This is what's going on. Okay? Now, the question that you got to ask yourself is this really pride or is this indoctrination? Of course it's indoctrination. Nobody is born weird, okay? Nobody is born gay. That is the biggest lie ever told to humanity. That is a lie. Listen. If we was born gay, you will see a gay lion, a gay tiger, a gay hyena. You will see these things. You don't see this. Man is the only people that has to be mentally indoctrinated to fall for such fugazi. And this is what you're seeing. This is not pride. A pride is somebody that stands on business. A pride is somebody that's comfortable in their skin, that's proud to be a warrior, that's proud to be an Alkebulan kidnapped and understand that they're kidnapped. And my pride and what I stand on will never deviate, even though you guys throw fire, even though you demonize who I am, my name, my heritage, my culture, you demonize it. But my pride won't let you take that from me. So it's not pride that's going on. Take the word pride out, okay? This is indoctrination. Like I tell you guys all the time, all of this is taught behavior. You understand? You was taught this. You was taught to act like this. You was taught to be this way. You wasn't born this way. Nobody is born like that. You were taught to be like that. Okay? This is all taught behavior. And the only way to overcome this, you understand? The only way to overcome this is to understand that you're being attacked. Understand that you have to deconstruct from everything that got a stronghold on you. That also includes the religion. Because the religion plays a pivotal role into the decision makings that we do. Because if I go and say, God, I'm Jesus' blood is sanctified. I'm sanctified by Jesus' blood so I could commit sin, right? Or God loves everybody. Doesn't matter who you are. If I'm being indoctrinated into that, if I'm being fed that, what's the chances of me checking myself when this curiosity kicks in? Huh? Of course not. All of this is indoctrination. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because you must realize that we are under attack. It is a war against the Alkebulan kidnaps worldwide. This agenda is everywhere, and they can't wait to bring this nonsense to Africa. They can't wait, and when they do, because it will come, because you guys are too afraid to detach yourself from this Euro-Christian and these Europeans. You are too afraid. Not everybody want to be an Abraham Torre. Not everybody want to do that. Everybody wants to be in compliance because they're gonna receive perks, nice cars, nice homes, and protection from the UN and the NATO and all this bullshit. You understand? But in reality, when this comes to the land, this is when all hell's gonna break loose. You see, you must pay attention to what their ancestors are setting up. This is nothing to do with biblical. This is not biblical, people. Listen, you ever ask yourself this question? You notice that all these people that is bringing forth prophecies, you ever notice that they always tell you what's about to happen to individuals, particular individuals, like this girl, I forgot her name, and she was prophesying saying this is what's going to happen to Diddy and that's going to happen, etc. I'm like, so God gave you prophecies on wicked men, but God never gave you prophecies on the people, on those that's trying, on those that's keeping the laws, those that's trying to be an upright, operate in righteousness. There's never a prophecy for these individuals. There's never, oh, I caught a vision and we're all going to leave at this time and this day. Nobody, you never hear that. You never hear that. Don't you find that kind of ironic? You see, for us, in order for us to elevate, I'm telling you, we have to separate. In order for the black race to elevate, we have to separate. We have to separate ourselves from their thinking, from their clothing, from their eating. Yes, the food is playing a very pivotal role. I just got some sad information, and I'm not gonna speak on it until the family comes out and speak on it in comfortability. I don't want to be the one to throw that out there. But yes, the eating, the ideologies, the religion, the relationships, all of that has to come to an end. We need complete separation. And these people know that. That's why they did all this integration. This integration has nothing to do with them having what they call that, a change of heart. If there was a change of heart, the financial gap wouldn't be as huge as it is. If it was a change of heart, black people should be able to live in these multi-million-dollar communities. If they was really about to change a heart, they wouldn't be a high investment into negative music, knowing that negative music creates negative energy, which leads to a negative outcome, which leads to a person being put into a private prison that's being run and funded by the same people that you believe is having a change of heart. And the reason why I have to talk about this is because we are producing children, and the children is going to end up getting older. And at this rate, a child won't even be able to decipher a man from a woman from a man. You're not going to be able to. I'm watching these things on social media every day. There's one girl that comes off and tell these dudes that she's a man, and these niggas won't believe it. Even when she lets off her real voice, they won't believe it. That is a problem, guys. And if we are saying that we are the generation that's going to connect back to the creators, not in this hiatus. There's going to be no exodus until these people are dismissed. And they're growing rapidly by the hundreds every day, by the thousands every year. It is going to be by the millions every century, or should I say every decade. Yeah. That's all I got for you guys. Just want to give you guys some understanding of where we're heading, what's going on, and how do we fix this. And a lot of it is coming because these children are being raised in a feminine household. I repeat, these children are being raised in a feminine household. Studies have shown that women fragrances messes with male hormones, especially if you get in that cheap shit from Bed Bath & Beyond. So please, people, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow the movement. You know who I am. You know where I stand. I am him. You're Junns The NBIC, aka the voice for the voiceless, aka the voice for the Alkebulan kidnaps. And with that being said, it's your brother, man. You understand? And I'm a holla. One.